From Goldenlife Creative Vision Studios, we create wisdom through vision. Every story begins as a spark. Every spark becomes light. And through light, we create wisdom. Goldenlife Creative Vision Studios.
Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are tackling something that literally affects every single one of us, getting older. But before we get going, I want to start with a bit of a paradigm shift. I want to introduce you to the exciting, totally scientifically backed concept that aging is not just this inevitable, passive decline that we simply have to accept. For decades, we've treated aging like a slow fade out, but the latest data, it tells a completely different story. We have far more control over our physical vitality in our 50s, 60s, and beyond than we ever thought possible.
So, let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat, right? Why do we feel slower? Why does it get harder to get up off the floor? Or why do we suddenly notice extra weight around the middle when we haven't even changed our diet? Well, if you're like most people, you probably point the finger squarely at one specific culprit: your metabolism. We've all heard it. My metabolism just broke down when I hit 50. It's hands down the most common assumption we make about aging. But what if I told you that assumption is entirely wrong?
All right, so here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the aging myth revealed. Second, habit 1, which is resistance training. Third, habit 2, morning mobility. Fourth, habit 3, walking speed. And finally, the path to longevity.
Okay, let's jump straight into part 1. The aging myth revealed. The metabolism misconception.
0%? I mean, no way, right? But a massive, comprehensive study analyzing data from over 6,400 subjects across 29 countries, ranging from literally days old to 95 years old, looked at our total energy expenditure. And what they found completely rewrites the textbooks. Between the ages of 20 and 60, our basal metabolic rate and total energy expenditure declined by exactly 0%. That's right, your metabolism at 55 is fundamentally the exact same as it was when you were 25.
So the common myth says your metabolism just breaks down in your 50s, causing weight gain and fatigue. But the reality is that your metabolism totally plateaus until age 60, and even after 60, it only drops by a tiny 0.7% per year. So if we can't blame our metabolism for slowing down, what is the real villain here? The answer is profound, but it's really simple. It's inactivity and the resulting muscle loss.
There's actually a scientific name for this silent thief: Sarcopenia. It's the age-associated degeneration of muscle mass. Basically, when we become less active, our bodies just stop sending the signals needed to maintain muscle. And this lack of physical activity creates a vicious, compounding cycle. You lose a little muscle, so movement becomes harder and more tiring. Because it's tiring, you move less. And because you move less, you lose more muscle. This, not your metabolism, is why you feel slower. But here's the truly fantastic news. Sarcopenia is highly reversible.
Which brings us to part 2. Habit 1. Resistance training and building up your best asset. Because having more muscle on your frame, it does incredible things for your internal health. More muscle independently reduces your risk of chronic illnesses like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. Muscle is essentially your metabolic armor. And the best part is, you don't need to live in the gym to build it. Just 2 to 3 sessions of resistance exercise per week is entirely enough to fight off sarcopenia. The tension from the exercise sends crucial growth signals to your body, telling it to hold on to and actually build that vital tissue.
And you can build this life-saving muscle without ever setting foot inside a commercial gym. Let's run through some highly effective at-home exercises. First up, the goblet sit to stand. Holding a small weight, you simply sit in a chair and stand back up for 10 to 20 reps. This is fantastic for building your quads and glutes. Next, the chair press. Think of it as an elevated push-up leaning against a sturdy dining chair, perfect for the chest and triceps. Then we've got the dumbbell row, which is essentially just pulling like you're starting a lawnmower. It's brilliant for upper back strength. And finally, the backward lunge. By stepping backward instead of forward, You highly strengthen your legs while taking all that forward momentum and pressure completely off your knee joints.
But, just doing the exercises isn't quite enough. It's really about how you do them. You absolutely must apply the progressive overload principle. This simply means that to keep getting health benefits, you have to gradually add either more repetitions or slightly heavier resistance over time. You can't just lift the same 3-pound dumbbell for 10 years and expect new results, right? Safely challenging your muscles just a little bit more each month is what leads to those massive health impacts. But of course, all that strength means very little if you are too stiff to use it.
All right, part 3, habit 2, morning mobility, and how it can literally transform your day.
Getting older often comes with a lovely dose of morning stiffness, but a dedicated 10-minute routine right there in your bed can dramatically reduce your daily pain. Step 1. Ankle pumps. Just briskly point and flex your feet for 2 minutes to wake up the lower body and get that blood flowing. Step 2. Knee rolls. Bend your knees, keep your feet flat on the mattress, and slowly let your knees roll from side to side. This safely loosens up a tight lower back. And Step 3. Bed stretches. Gently hugging your knees to your chest stretches your glutes and improves your hip flexion, which makes everyday things, like picking up a dropped pen, so much easier later in the day.
Oh, and here is a specific mobility move that's an absolute game changer, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting. It's called the short lever book opener. You lie on your side, knees bent, place your hands behind your head, and then slowly rotate your top elbow backward, opening your chest up to the ceiling. This specifically targets mid-spine mobility. It actively reverses that hunched, rounded shoulder posture that we all kind of tend to develop over time. But strength and mobility are still only part of the equation.
Moving on to part 4, habit 3, walking speed, and why we need to prioritize pace over quantity.
We constantly hear about the magic number of steps we should be taking, but the research shows we're actually missing half the equation here. We know that walking further leads to better health, for sure, and the longevity benefits really start to kick in between that 6,000 and 12,000 steps per day mark. But intentionally pushing your walking pace by just 5 to 10% each month, that is a uniquely powerful habit. It literally forces your cardiovascular system to adapt, and it strengthens the fast-twitch muscle fibers in your legs that prevent falls. So, instead of just strolling longer, try walking your normal route just a little bit faster. Which brings us to how we synthesize all of this together.
Finally, part 5, the path to longevity, reclaiming your vitality. When we think about the physical foundation of a comfortable retirement, it's not just about the money you've saved. It's really about having the physical capacity to actually enjoy those stunning views and moments of freedom. By combining resistance training to maintain your muscle armor, morning mobility to keep your joints fluid, and brisk walking to keep your heart strong, you are taking control. Aging completely stops being something that just happens to you and becomes an active process that you boldly manage.
So, the crucial point is this: you don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight, but action is absolutely required. We've totally busted the metabolism myth today. We know that muscle is our armor. The only question left is, which of these 3 habits, resistance training, morning mobility, or picking up your walking pace, will you start tomorrow? Pick just one, stick to it, and dare to prove that your best, most capable years are still ahead of you.
True success is not about where you stand today. It is about the direction in which you are moving.